I know you've been waiting a really long time to get the answer to this question. When are we going to be putting enemies into our game? Right now. That's right, in today's video we're going to be adding enemies into the game, and we're going to be adding the damage system into the game where we are going to be able to damage our enemies. Basically, all of your hard work from the last 10 or so videos is going to come into play here. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Taken Grace, and I make Unreal Engine tutorials and videos for you and me. So if you want to become a better game dev with me, join the realm and subscribe today. All right, you've waited long enough. Let's jump into the video. All right, let's get started on our super cool, awesome damaging enemies and stuff. So let's make a new folder, call it enemies. Enemies, I always say enemies for some reason. Shoot, we should put that in first person. My bad, move here. Okay, move here, enemies. Okay, so we're gonna make a blueprint class. It's gonna be a type character. A character is a pawn that has the ability to walk around. All right, we'll call this BP underscore enemy base. Enemy case. Not sure what that is. But anyways, enemy base. We're going to open up enemy base. In the video that came out on Wednesday, I was talking about creating basically like the parent classes. And then all the children after that so that we don't reference all the materials and stuff in there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set some settings in here. So the capsule components, we can't obviously change or do anything because it's inherited from the character class. So we are going to set this as a, where is it? A custom. I mean, it should just be custom by default because I'm sick of like, you know, having to select custom for every single blueprint I use. But anyways, so we are going to, object type will be world static, because the actual mesh itself is going to be the pawn. So for this, I believe, yeah, camera blocking, I believe has to be, does it have to be, I can't remember, we'll figure it out here when stuff doesn't work. But essentially I want to overlap everything. We're going to ignore interactable, and I think we block camera. No, we don't. We don't, because, actually we will, and I'll show you what happens. Okay, so we'll do that, we'll hit compile, that's all good. And then mesh, we are gonna go down here and we're gonna select this as a pawn. We're gonna do custom once again. We are going to block visibility because that's gonna play into our radial damage later. It checks the visibility channel, so we make sure that's blocked off. We want to block literally everything else, including pawns, including we'll leave it a block all. We'll see what happens. Okay, so we'll hit compile. That will be it for now for the enemy base, but keep the enemy base open because that's where we're doing all of the scripting for stuff. We're going to create a child blueprint class of enemy base so that we can create enemies with materials. So we'll call this enemy Manny. Okay, open up enemy Manny, and in mesh, we will select the Manny skeletal mesh. You can do the simple or the regular one. I'll do the regular one. We got to move them down and into the collision sphere, unfortunately, it's just how it works, because this collision component is the root, so we don't have access to move that up or down, so it's a little annoying. So you'll spawn him into the floor, but he'll like pop up when you let go, so that's no big deal. Okay, let's hit compile. Oh, one other thing we didn't do in enemy base is in the mesh, we want to make sure that this is collision enabled, query and physics, okay? And we want to generate hit events, and we want to generate overlap events. And we want to make sure that apply impulse on damage is true. And there's another couple damage ones. Let's just type the damage in. Okay, I'm just gonna spell damage wrong and just not do that. Is that it, or do we have to do? Oh, we have to do it on the root here, the class defaults. So apply impulse on damage, apply impulse on damage ×2, I guess, and then can be damaged. Those all have to be true for our damage system to work. Okay, I'm sure you've wondered what the hell this is for. This is for the damage system that I'm gonna show you guys, which is like the in-engine damage system, okay? So if that's not checked, then things don't get damaged. All right, back in Manny Mannequin. Back on the mesh here, let's select an animation class. I'll show you something really funny because I selected the tutorial blueprint into my prep project, and it like just deforms the crap out of him. Like his fingers are all like messed up, which is really funny. But anyways, we're just gonna use the animation blueprint Manny for this, okay? All right, so we have that set for Manny Mannequin. You can do whatever you need to do for the animations, that you know, get your own animations, whatever the hell you want to do. Okay, so that's all done. I think we are completely done with Manny Mannequin. We are just gonna close him right up, except what we can do is we can drag Manny Mannequin into the world. We can get rid of this one because this is just a skeletal mesh. It's got nothing to do with our guy. And we'll hit save. Okay, there's Manny Mannequin. Rotate him so he's facing the right way there. All right, and we'll get a couple Manny mannequins out of here. You know, let's get 3 going here. Cool. So there's Manny mannequin. Let's hit play. Okay. Oh, our Manny mannequins fell through the floor. Cool. So that means that we don't have the right collision settings on. So first of all, let's drag this. I can see that Manny mannequin's just poking his head outside the collision sphere here. So we'll fix that first. What do we got here? Sorry, I closed Manny mannequin. Just a little bit lower there. For that, and we didn't have the right collision settings, so we'll be back in our enemy base. Okay, so capsule collision, we'll just close this out. We need to block world static and dynamic, so we'll hit compile, and we'll see if that works. Cool, there's our Manny mannequins. We are going to shoot them, and you can tell that nothing happened. And that's because we are hitting the collision, or pardon me, we're hitting the capsule component, and not Manny mannequin. So, for that regard, that's where we need to be down here in the capsule component here. Overlap the camera, that's what it was. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna hit that, and now we're gonna play, and now we should get some bullet effects, which we do. Okay, but you'll notice that the bullet effects are moving, or not moving with Manny, and that's for another separate reason. So I'll shoot him here, and as he moves around, you can see very clearly that they're not staying where they are. So what's happening there is we are attaching, and for the decal component, we are attaching an actor to an actor. So it's not attaching it to a specific component, which would be his skeletal mesh or his mesh or whatever. It's attaching it to basically the capsule component and then projecting itself onto the mesh here. So that's why it's not working properly. So we're gonna fix that right now. We're gonna open our decal class, wherever we save that. Okay, so inside the decal class here, we are going to be going to our event graph, and right here is where we have that attach actor to actor. So we need to grab the hit result and move it back here, and we're gonna just move this along here. Okay, so we're gonna come out of hit actor, and we're going to cast to character. Okay, so what's happening here is we're just gonna plug this in here. So we're checking, is this actor a character? So this could be literally our player, it could be our enemies, it could be anything else that you have under the character class, okay? So this is a very safe thing to cast to be honest. So as character, we are going to get out of there and we're gonna get mesh, because the mesh is a part of the character class. So we can access it from that variable there, or from that cast node. So we're gonna plug this into a new node, which we're gonna get out of here, called attach actor to component. Okay, we're gonna plug the mesh into the parent, and then the socket name, we'll get the hitbone name, I believe is the one that works. So the hitbone name we'll plug in, and we're gonna make sure that we keep world for all of these. Okay, and we'll uncheck weld simulated bodies as well. Okay, if the cast fails, we're gonna just attach actor to actor like we've been doing, and that should fix all that. So we'll hit compile, we'll just test that out super quick. So we'll shoot, and you can see that they are now following Manny Mannequin. All right, and shoot him in the head, and yeah, he's no matter where he goes. All right, cool. So that's all done. That's the slightly annoying parts about this tutorial. Now we're gonna do an object component in our object component. We don't have a components folder, do we? No, we don't. Okay, so we'll just make one. Components, okay, and we're gonna right click blueprint class, actor component, and this will be called BPC health. Okay, so the first video I ever made on this channel was making a health component, which is actually one of the best performing videos on my channel, which is hilarious because I watch it and I cringe. But anyways, so I'm gonna do some slightly different stuff in this one just to make it different than that one. So we'll open up the health component, and first we'll make all the functions that we're gonna have. So we'll have gain health. We will have take health. We will have death. We will have gain shield, take shields, or shield, I guess. And one more called health updates. Okay, so that's all the functions. We're gonna create 2 macros called has health and has shield. Okay, and a couple of variables, one called dead, and one called shield active, and one called current health, max health, current shield, and max shield. Okay, and shield active, max health, and max shield are going to be instance editable. So we can edit them in whatever, you know, every different type of enemy that's on the map. And then these are all floats as well. So we'll do these here. All right, there we go. So that's all set up. Let's get started. We'll start with gain health. This one's pretty easy. We're just going to click on this and add an input of a float, which will be our health. Okay, and we are going to add our health to our current health. And then we're going to clamp float so that it doesn't go above our max health. Okay, and then we're going to set our current health as the output of this. That's it. We're going to hit a return node. And on all of these, just in case we need it, we are going to basically attach the result of all of our, you know, work in here so that we can access it later if we need to for UI or whatever, right? Current health. Just like that. Okay, so we compile, gain health's done. We're going to close that, take a health now. Similar, but slightly different. So this one, we're going to get a float. Pardon me, a float. Damage is what we're going to call the input. Okay, so we're going to minus our current health from our damage. Okay, and then we are going to clamp this as well because we do not want it to go below 0. Otherwise, we will miss our damage events. Yeah, so we're clamping that obviously so we don't go past 0, like I said, because we'll miss our death events. And then we're going to set our current health again. All right, then we're going to grab our has health macro, which we haven't done yet. So actually, let's just do that now. This one's super easy. You're just going to get your current health and you're going to check and see if it's not equal to 0. And we'll just close that. And then same thing with has shield, or same thing. Current shield, exclamation mark, not equal to 0. Done. Okay. All right, back in take health. We're going to check if we has health, and we are going to get a branch from that. Okay, and if we has no health, we has died. Okay, and then we'll get a return branch out of here. And we are going to return our current health out of this. Compile. Okay, so take health is done. Death is pretty easy too. We're going to do once, because we only want to do that whole dying thing once. Okay, we're going to set dead as true, and then we're going to make an event dispatcher called on death. Okay, this we can trigger in our characters to do specific things when they die. Okay, so we'll hit compile. That's done. Okay, so gain shield is pretty similar to gain health. So we'll just get a, we'll just say shield. And then we're gonna grab, or so we're gonna drag it here, get a plus node, and we're gonna get our current shield and add to it. Clamp float. And current shield. Okay, current shield, and we're gonna actually do this as well, shield active. We're gonna make this true, just in case we have shield, or sorry, we don't have shield, and this is false. If we gain shield again, then this will just re-enable it. So that's what we'll do, and then we'll do return. We'll add a return node. We're gonna plug in the current shield, and we're gonna plug in the shield active as well. Oh, okay. Well, wish you just did the actual names of the things I plugged in, but sure. Current shield, shield active. Okay, gain shield's done. Take shield is a bit more interesting. We're gonna go in there. We're gonna add. Okay, the first thing we need to check is we need to come out of damage. We need to get a greater or equal to current shield. We want to find out if the damage that we're about to receive is more than the shield that we have left. So we'll get a branch on that. We'll start with the false. So if it is not greater than, which means we have more shield than we have damage coming in, we're going to take our current shield and we're going to minus the damage. Okay, and we'll clamp this once again. Yeah, we better clamp it just in case. And we'll put our max shield in here, and then we're going to set our max or our current shield. Okay, for the one above, if we have more damage than we have shield, then we're gonna basically remove all the shield and then minus these two from each other, and then send the remaining damage over to our health, so our health can take the remaining damage. So first we'll set our current shield to 0. Okay, and then we will need to drag out of damage, and we need to minus by our current shield to get the difference for that. Okay, and then we are going to drag out, or sorry, we're going to grab the take health function that we made, and then we'll plug this in. Okay, so that's there, and then we're going to get a branch out of here because we're going to check if we has shield. Macros has shield. Okay, and if we do has shield, then we're going to just set shield active to true, and we'll just duplicate this, because if we don't have shields, we're going to set it to false. Okay. Perfect, and then we'll get a return node. And we're going to plug in has shield, and we'll plug in our current shield as well. Shield active. Cool. Okay, the last one here is health update. So we're gonna handle this inside our component instead of each individual actor, which is what you should be doing by default anyway. But we're going to get damage. Okay, this is only going to be called for damage. The rest of them we can just call the actual other functions for gaining health or shield. First, we're going to check if our shield is active. Okay, if our shield is active, we're going to take shield, and if not, we're going to take health. Okay. All right, after that, we're going to get a return value here. And we'll plug in shield active, current health, current shield. Just like that, move these out of the way. We'll duplicate, whoops, actually we can do this, right? Yeah, we can. Okay, so we'll do that, that's done, we'll exit that. Next, that's off event begin play. We'll get rid of the event tick. We don't need it. Off event begin play. First thing I'm gonna do, check and make sure that we are not dead. Because now I'm having second guesses about my death thing. Okay, we did set it true. Good. So yeah, we are dead, and then we're gonna set our current health. Our max health is our current health, so we'll get full health. Then we're gonna check if our shield is active. Okay, and if it is active, we are going to set our current shield to our max shield. Boom. Okay, that's all done. That's our components. And we're going to close this, and we're going to go into our enemy base, and then we're going to add BPC health. Okay. Now you can go into, well, you can go here. Let's just by default set 100 in max health and 100 in max shield, and then we'll just have to enable if they have shield or not in the actual level. Okay, so let's compile, and let's go to the event graph, and let's script some things. We'll delete these for now. We don't need them. We'll call them if we need them. Okay, so for BP, under BPC health, we're going to right click, add event on death. This is that event dispatcher. Okay. One other one you could add too is you could add like when the shield runs out, you can add another call to like an event dispatcher called shield break, and then you can add some particle effects or something in here if you wanted. Okay, so on death, first we want to simulate physics. Why is this? Okay, sorry, set simulate physics mesh. Okay, and we'll simulate physics. We'll hit compile. The last thing we want to do too is we want to set lifetime or lifespan. So when we die, we want our body to despawn after a certain amount of time, because that's just optimized, right? So when your actor gets destroyed, there will be a round of like garbage collection that comes through, like in Unreal, I mean, and it'll remove that from memory if nothing else is referencing it. So that's good to just get rid of it. So, okay, I did 10 seconds. You can do longer if you want. And then finally, we need to get event on any take any damage. Okay, why is it not working here? Here we go. On take any damage. I probably just did it wrong. Okay, we're not binding it though. Okay, so on take any damage, we are going to call from our health component, we are going to call the health update. Okay, plug that in, and that's all we need to do. We are going to output, we're going to do a print string here, and we'll append and add all the way up to H. Here we go. This will be health with a space, and then we'll plug our health in. This will be, oh yeah, this will be up and down with a couple more spaces just to give us some room to look. Shield, And then another up and down thing with a couple spaces. And then shield active. Okay, there it is. And perfect. Okay, so we'll test this out in a second because it's not going to work yet because we need to actually call this event. So we're going to do that inside our weapon class. Weapon class. We want to go to bullet trace, projectile fire, hit scan line trace. There, that's the one. All right, inside our weapon class here, we are going to, so this adds impact at location. We are going to apply damage. Okay, so we need all of these different variables. So we'll get our hit, we'll just grab a new one here. Out hit, wherever that is. Out hit, get out hit. We're gonna break that. We're gonna drag our hit actor into our damaged actor. Our base damage, we need to grab the physical material and we need to get damage modifier and then split this. Collapses to your graph as well, don't worry. And then we need to get our weapon damage, which I believe is in our gun data. Get damage, and then we're going to multiply that by our mod surface multiplier and plug that in. Okay, the event instigator, that is going to be a player controller of the person who instigated the thing. So you just need to drag out of there, get player controller. Don't necessarily need these in there because there's nothing going on right now, but we'll put them in just to be proper. Damage causer, we're going to put self. This is the object that caused the damage. So it's like the grenade, the bullet, the gun, whatever, right? Okay, damage type class. So if you drop this down, you won't have all of these. You'll have just environmental, likely. So these are damage types that are native to the engine. So if you actually select environmental and then hit the little microscope here, the looking glass, it'll open up this and you'll only see the environmental damage. If you duplicate that, you can make one called explosive and one called bullet damage. This will work in all of the projects that you create now because this is inside the engine files. Okay, so in terms of the data, in explosive, caused by world, I've unchecked. This just means that it was, you know, it's an environmental damagey thing, right? Like lava or whatever the hell it is. So damage fall off, I've set it at 2. It's based off the exponent, I think it says. This is the same thing as with the Decals video. The velocity change, damage velocity change. So this will ignore mass basically. So rather to treat it as an impulse or a velocity change is what it's saying. Okay, I've set 1,800 and left that at 1 for the explosive. For the other one, I've unchecked world as well, and then I've basically only put 500 here and 50. Okay, destructible impulse, that just affects meshes that can crumble. So I think with the chaos system or whatever the case is there. Okay, so that's that. So once those are done, you're going to select a bullet damage for this one. And that's good. We're just going to collapse this to a graph. Applies damage. Okay, let's test it out here. It should work with our hit scan weapons. Let's hit play. Let's shoot this guy. And nothing's happening. Why is that? Spawn impact adds impact at location. But what about the simulate physics? So this has to go before this. Because this is asking if it's simulating physics. That's what's happening here. That's the second time I've done that in this tutorial series. That's funny. Maybe if I name my stuff better. All right, plug that in. Now it should work. Interesting. It's still not registering a hit, hey? Oh, you know what's happening here? Sorry, guys. I see. So see how it says custom event? Because remember I tried to get on take any damage and then it like binded the event. So it created a custom event instead of the actual one I need. So event take any. Why is this not showing up for me? Any damage? Event any damage. There it is. It's under game damage event any damage. That's what we want. Okay, so that was my bad for missing that. But anyways, it should work now. So we'll compile. Nothing was calling that event. That's why it wasn't working. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so you can see all the updates there because there's 8 different line traces for the shotgun. So obviously we dropped this guy pretty good, and our Ragdoll works. We despawn. That's great. So perfect. Let's do our bullet trace now. We'll do weapons, projectiles, projectile base. Okay, so we'll get rid of these. So there's 2 other ones you can use for the damage thing. So we'll drag out of here and we'll just type damage. We'll find it here because I can't remember what it's called. It's at the top here. Apply radial damage with fall off. That's what we want. Drag this down just so we have some room. And then the other one we want, we'll just type in damage again, is point damage. Apply point damage. This one you can apply a hit from a direction. So we're going to create some stuff here. So we're going to go get our hit results. We're going to break it. And we're going to plug the origin, the impact point in there. Physical material, we're going to get damage modifier once again, and we'll split that. We are collapsing this to a graph. This is like been the ugliest blueprint we've done, to be honest. Okay, actually what we don't have damage. Oh no, we do have damage, bullet damage, and we're setting it. Perfect. Okay, so we'll get bullet damage. We'll multiply it. We will do this, and we'll plug this into base damage. Then we're going to drag out of here, and we're going to get a division node. And we're going to divide it by 2, and we're going to set that as the minimum damage. The inner radius, I'm just going to put 100, and the outer, I'm going to put 400. Okay, damage fall off, I mean, 1.5 probably is good. Damage type class will be explosive. And the damage causer is the self, which is this blueprint. And get player character. Get player controller, pardon me. Get player controller, there we go. Okay, that's what we need. Damage prevention channel. This is going to control, so if you're standing behind a wall, you don't want to get injured. So we're going to do, probably visibility is actually pretty good. A good idea. Anything that's visible that you're hiding behind that doesn't do any damage to you. Sure, why not? Okay, we are going to add all this, or select all this and collapse to a node. Adds radial damage. And we'll just make sure that this is connected to an output. Boom. Compile. Hit from direction. Oh, yeah. It's from the other one we haven't done yet. Okay, so we'll do this. And let's delete this and let's duplicate this. And we will go in here. We will delete this. We will damage. Add point damage. So just want to note that if you do point damage or radial damage, it'll still trigger the any damage event. Okay, so this can go away. We want to plug this in here. Damage actor will be the hit actor. Hit from direction will be impact point. We need to plug in our hit result. All right, so we got the hit event there, and the damage causer will be the same player controller. Or that's the event instigator. I don't know why they flipped them on those. Anyway, self, there we go. And then damage class will be the bullet damage. There, we're done. Little fasty fast. Flies. Summertime. Hate them. I want a Venus flytrap is what I want. Anyways, okay, so that's all done. And we're gonna go back here and we're just gonna rename the supplies point damage. Okay, and we'll plug that in and then we'll plug this in here. It's not gonna work, I think. Well, we'll just mitigate that right now. Does this have the return material on move? Cool. If you don't have return material on move, it's not going to work. This guy right here underneath the what do you call this? The collision settings. Okay, so we'll hit compile. Let's see what doesn't work. Oh, actually, sorry, that was the wrong thing. I need a sniper rifle. Okay, oh, I did do damage. Interesting. It stopped working. Oh, right, I remember now. The decal was hitting its, it was hitting the decal. That's what it was doing. I'm just remembering stuff from my prep project. So, in the decal impact class, box collision, I think we had to, do we have to ignore? Or yeah, we had to set to no collision. That's what we had to do for box collision. Okay. And just making sure that our decals still work. They do. And they do. And what about for here? They do. Okay, what about for you? Oh boy! Domed! Oh, and that's the labor of your hard work, everybody. If you've been following up to this point, you should see that that's what we've basically been building up to. That's why we waited so long to do the enemies, because it's just not as satisfying. So yeah, okay, so what's happening obviously is the bullets hitting the bone, and if he's dead, it starts the ragdoll, and then it adds force to that bone. So if I kill him by shooting him in the arm, neck shot, then his arm is the one that starts the ragdoll, right? The head, I mean, oh, what happened there? Oh, okay, well, he died now. Anyways, oh, I'm using the thing I can't remember. HitScan weapons. Anyways, last thing we need to check is the rocket launcher. We need to make sure that this goes boom and kills him. Whoa! Oh, look at that radial force, everybody. Oh, it's so good. So there you go. Just so you guys know, I'm not doing AI in this series. I do not know enough about AI to justify giving you guys any value in that. So I could basically like make them find a location or look at the player or move to a location. Like it's just super basic stuff. So it's not going to be worth me teaching it if I don't know that much about it. So I've had a bunch of people ask me if I'm going to do AI. I'm not going to do that. Anyways, so okay, so we'll just test out the shields and make sure the shields work as well. So we'll click on a Manny mannequin. We'll go to the blueprint health component, and then we'll check shields active. Okay, and we'll hit play, and we're just going to make sure that the shields are updating properly. Oof. No, they ain't. So take shield. Oh, look, they're both false. Look at that. There we go. Compile there. It should all work fine now. Jeez. So dumb. Okay, there. Shield. There. All right, that was super satisfying. The end of there. Oh boy. Super satisfying. In the next video, we're going to be doing pickups. So we'll do health packs, armor, ammo, all that kind of stuff. If you want to keep learning in Unreal Engine in the meantime, you can click on that video up there, do something new. Or if you want to keep learning about optimization, you can click on that video down there. And as always, like and subscribe, and keep learning until you game over. Peace.